Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Ryanair pilot, and this video is on request of one of my first class channel members who wished for his real-life holiday flight to be recreated there from Palma de Mallorca to Berlin Airport as the FR 111 call sign Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu. So, we're standing here in Palma, we've got our Malta-Air Boeing 737 ready. I did do some research and it looked like they're mostly using the Malta-Air aircraft, which are then based out of Berlin. So it's actually Berlin crew flying this one. So, I would say it starts getting quite loud over here, so before I turn on all the sounds, why don't we head inside and start the briefing of our cabin crew. So this is much better. Now we can also turn on a couple of those simulated sounds in the background. So we're gonna start the day as we would normally do it when coming aboard the airplane and just say hello to the cabin crew and give them the briefing of what's the plan for the day. So, hello everyone, it's me, Emmanuel, up here in the cockpit, and we've got our first officer in the back there, and our first officer today is Hendrik. So, for the plan today, we have a 737-800 and we are going to fly towards Berlin. 189 passengers booked, so it's going to be a full house. Expect about 2 hours 40 flight time, no turbulence forecast, and the weather everywhere along the route is forecast good. As always, if you hear, see, smell anything, do let me know, and if the temperatures aren't good, then just give us a call as well. Take care with those passengers. We're coming from Mallorca, so chances are some of them might be intoxicated, so keep in mind we have a zero tolerance policy, and if somebody stands out, then just let us know, okay? Apart from that, if there is no questions, we're going to start the pre-flight, and you guys can start the boarding whenever you feel like it. We will be doing fueling and boarding for about the next 10 minutes. Alright, that's going to be the part where we are briefing the cabin crew. Now, since that is done, let's have a quick look into our flight plan. So, flight plan comes straight from SimBrief, and as always I'm using SimToolkit Pro to display it and to get my stuff like the after landing report, etc. So, we're in Mallorca going towards Berlin. We are planned at a takeoff weight of 68.2, so that means we need to adjust our max takeoff weight for 69 tons. And then, let's have a quick look into the rest of it. Alternate plan is Hanover. I don't know why it's twice on the flight plan. Congratulations, SimBrief. And then, checking out the weather. We've briefed the cabin crew already. We can see a couple of SIGMETs en route, but that shouldn't be anything problematic for us. Weather at destination Berlin is Kavok, stays Kavok, very good. And at Hanover, same thing. They get a little bit of broom and low clouds over the night, but no problem for us at all. So I would say we can take standard fuel, and that is going to be, let's have a look into that, 9.5, well, it's quite hot, so we might need some APU. Let's make it 9.6 tons of fuel. Alright, and with the fuel quantity now decided, let's go ahead and power up our 737. Got some power, fire test. Okay, the fire test is good. Make sure that both sensors on the takeoff warning system are actually working. Fire detector is working. I'm gonna switch off that transponder for now. And then flight recorder off, light is out, flight recorder on, light is on, and we got the master caution overhead as well. Well, warning system ain't gonna work yet. That's still something PMDG needs to improve, because in real life they will give you a very small shaking only within those 4 minutes. So it is something that you can absolutely test already. Okay, cool. That's this stuff done. So let's go ahead and go into the Cockpit. So first thing we're going to do is to order the refueling and the boarding. But we're going to start with the refueling. So we just said we wanted to take 9.6 tons of fuel. So that's on. The fueler is connected. So let's start the fueling. Then we still got to wait a little bit here for the boarding. But what we can do in the meantime is to grab ourselves an air conditioning unit. We do certainly get those in Spain and Mallorca. They do have air conditioning units attached to the jetways here, which are missing in the scenery. And like that, it stays nice and cool in the cabin. Keep in mind, it's 22 degrees outside right now, but it could be a lot hotter as well. Okay, cool. With that, we can go straight ahead into the system setup. Always takes the plane a little bit... Always take the plane a little bit there in order to get its GPS data, but here we go. Okay, just give me a second over here. So we're going to be the Ryanair 5-1 Quebec Zulu. Let's get that one up on the flight plan as well, just to be sure that we actually got the same thing. So 5-1 Quebec Zulu from Palma to Berlin. Departure runway is going to be 24 right. And we've got the ISTA 2 Alpha departure. Okay, are those the right waypoints? Yep, it seems like it. No, the routing we're using, by the way, is the real-life route that has been flown on this particular combination, so everything is about as realistic as we can get it here. Obviously, not everything is always going to be 100% in line with what is being done on these very days, but I do believe that we're getting as close as possible here. Okay, and initially we're going to plan 25 left at Berlin with the outcome 25 left transmission. Costin X6, then we've got the reserves at 2.5. Zero fuel weight planned 58.9. And at a cruising level of 360. And cruise wind is going to be 094 at 4. Eyesight deviation +3, that means we have minus 53 degrees, and the transition altitude over here, 6,001. We'll make the temperature hard on the N1 limit page, because Ryanair doesn't have the sensors over here. And finally, for the emergencies, in Palma, it's simply straight ahead for 25 miles and pick up the holding over there. Also, it's not officially procedure, but I'm the kind of guy who likes to insert the descent stuff as well already, if I get the chance to do it, so if you see me doing that, it's not mandatory to do that stuff on the ground. Normally we would only do it in the air by the SOP, but I'm just thinking, well, if I have the time available, and if, most importantly, the flight is a very short one, then it can absolutely not hurt just to do a little bit more work straight away. Okay, and destination QNH 1020. Perfect, that's what we're looking for. Okay, finally, initial climb gonna be 5,000. I'll put it in here, and a 220 knot speed restriction for the first turn. We'll put it in here as well. Okay, and that should be it. So let's quickly do our panel scan. After overhead panel, basically no lights. Door damper, nav transmitter space, which is normal auto. Fuel pump is going on, and let's see how much fuel we have. 8.2 now, so they're still fueling, but I would say that we have about time that we can actually start our boarding. And when we're boarding, we can start loading our cargo as well. Okay, so we are gonna test the center pumps and the crossfeed valve here. So center pumps work, crossfeed goes bright dim, and then back closed again, and that looks good. More than 453 kilos, so we're gonna keep the center pumps on. Fueling, in progress for another minute or so. Cruising, in the end we're looking at flight level 380, for that reason I'll just about put that in, and 150 for Berlin. We have maintenance, so the igniter is going to go on the right hand side. Select the altitude, select our heading. Those have recently changed in Palma, it's now 237. And for the courses we're gonna do pretty much the same. We're gonna start with 236, which I believe is the first one. And then we take 059, which is going to be the inbound to Menorca later on. But I'll show you all of that as we get to the briefing. Glide check, make sure that everything is actually working as it should. Note the pack slots are broken at the moment, but that is alright. Well, in real life obviously it wouldn't be, but at the moment that is a known bug in the PMDG, so that's not much of a problem there. Okay. Going down here, we can absolutely set the park and brake by now. Start frequency Honeycomb 2, then we can take the HOTAS Honeycomb 1, or sorry, we can take the HOTAS on the standby, but I'm going to do that a little bit later, because for now I want to go ahead with our nav setup. That's not going to work, it's 117.7 that we need, and then we can take 113.9. and 112.6 if I'm not totally mistaken. Yes, I still know these by heart. Flown those departures here in Palma so incredibly often. Then we need 401. Like this, and 384. Okay, and 384 is actually going to go active at first, which we then obviously need on the displays as well. Okay, perfect. So finally we can set our MFRA, which is going to be 1027 in Palma. Yes, for some reason it is always the same. Basically because there are no obstacles in the departure path, so it's going to be 1,000 above the field elevation, which is 27 feet. For that reason it's going to be 1027. Okay, QNH right now is actually 1013. So, Palma departure HOTAS is going to be 121775. Let's see if we can receive any of that.
Transition level 75. This was Tailmet on the Lorca Airport HOTAS Information Hotel. Advise on initial contact. You have Information Hotel. This is Tailmet on the Lorca Airport HOTAS Information Hotel at time 1630 Zulu. Departure runway 24 right. Westcom. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds at 2,300. Few clouds at 3,000. Temperature 24. 2.15. Altimeter 1013. Transition level 75. This was tailmet on the Lorca Airport HIS Information Hotel. Advise on initial contact. You have Information Hotel.
Okay, that's our HIS. Let's get rid of that for now. And then we can go ahead with our briefing. So, threats for the departure. I do see, well, Spanish ATC could be a little bit of a thing there. Nothing against their VATSIM controllers, however, in Spain, sometimes ATC isn't always 100% on top of everything, so for that reason, I'm just about taking it on the careful side here. Okay, then we can go ahead and do the route check, which is going to be Lima Echo Papa Alpha towards Echo Delta Delta Bravo, Romeo Yankee Romeo 51 Quebec Zulu. ISTA departure, Upper November 851 Lunar, Upper Tango 251 Omega, Upper November 851 Tortu. Direct AirTAF, direct Target, direct Breno, direct Alutu, direct Tifta, direct Edvis, direct Navik, direct Gavli, Tango 203 Abgub, and the ground distance on that one 1048 in the FMC versus 10. Yeah, from the flight plan here 1057. Yep, that's close enough. I'm happy with that and execute. So fuel remaining 3.6 versus minimum required 2.5. UTC time 0741, altimeter 1013, reading us 30 feet, MFRA 1027, flight directors are on, and the master is on my side, standby instruments set. Left sea takeoff 2 for right, flaps 5, noise abatement 2 with a backup at 1500, and for the engine outset we go straight ahead 25 miles, climbing 3000, which is going to keep us safe. Emergencies. Above 80 knots, I will only reject for fire or fire warning, engine failure, predictive wind chill warning, aircraft unable or unsafe to fly. If I call stop, I'll simultaneously close the thrust lever, disengage the auto throttle, apply max manual braking, verify operation of the RTO auto brakes. I'll manually raise the speed brake lever, apply max reverse thrust, and when the aircraft comes to stop, I will set the parking brake. From here, the FO continues. If you call stop, I will note the brakes on speed, call speed brakes up or speed brakes not up, and thrust reverse normal or normal indications. I'll call 100 knots, 80 knots, 6 knots, and the runway distance remaining. Verify your actions, calling in emissions. I will call auto brake disarm and select flap 40 when the brake has been set, and advise ATC of the reject. That's great, we then identify the failure and carry out any drills as appropriate. If we decide to evacuate, we do the evacuation checklist. Time permitting, we'll pull the CBR circuit breaker. And you grab the lid, then we get out. Okay, if the call before we want to keep going, no actions below 400 feet except to cancel any warnings, raise the landing gear with a positive rate, 400 feet, verify heading select, and carry out memory items. At the MFRA, buck up, retract flaps and schedule, flaps up and lights, select level change, MCT, automatics, non-normal checks, normal checks, and then we decide. So, pushback is going to be fairly easy. I will be using the Navigraph charts, and the app I'm using to display those is SimToolkit Pro. So, taxi out, fairly easy. We are parking on stand number 64 up there. Pushback most likely facing to the north, so into Tango 1, and then taxi out via this one. And most likely I expect holding point 2 for right via Juliet or via Golf. So that means we go on the inners over here, and then either via Juliet onto Link or via Golf onto Link. And then we taxi up here. They have a standard taxiway system over here, so the taxi instruction is going to be either taxi holding point 2 for right via Juliet or via Golf. However, as we're flying in VATSIM, chances are that they do things a little bit different here in VATSIM than they do in real life, and for that reason it might be possible that the instructions we get here in VATSIM look different than what we would expect from, from real life. Departure ISTA 2 Alpha is on charge 10-3 Delta, effective 18th of June, transition 6000. And let's have a look into the FMC now. We've got 2 for right, ISTA 2 Alpha, 6001. And then initial climb clearance, climb maintained 5000 feet, so we've got 5000 pre-selected. And we also have 5000 on the legs page. Then for our routing, we go straight at to intercept radial 236 outbound Palma Sun San Juan, and we have 236 selected on the courses, and in here we go 236 until 7 DME. Then the left turn heading 209 till 11 DME, and here we've got 208 to 11, that's good with me as well. And the left turn 136 inbound to Pitox, and I have the 220 restriction for the first turn in there. So then we continue until radial 190 from Mallorca VOR, and Mallorca VOR is active on number 2 until Xural, and that when we cross above 5,000 feet, and then we make a left-hand turn, intercept 059 in the Porto Colom. So we've got the intercept 058 towards Porto Colom, is good with me as well. Porto Colom is selected standby on the ADF, and then we continue on 059 inbound to Menorca, and thereafter 059 24 miles towards Ister, and that is what we have in here. Since there are also minimum noise abatement procedures, and we contact ATC when advised. Finally, speed max 250 at or below flight level 100. Let's quickly have a look at that. 250 below 100. Okay, any questions on the departure briefing? No? Very good. Then let's go ahead and yeah, we can either do the checklist or call for clearance. I would say we just call for clearance to see what they say. So, we've got a Palma Tower online, that's going to be 18.3. Okay, let's quickly see. We had ATIS information hotel. Palma Tower, Buenos Aires, Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu information hotel, request clearance to Berlin.
Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu, hello Palma Tower. Clear to Berlin as file via Easter to Alpha departure, runway 24 right, initial climb 5,000 feet, number scope 6233.
Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu, cleared Berlin via Ister to Alpha departure, then as filed, climb 5,000 feet, squawk 6233.
Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu, reply correct.
Okay, leaving the frequency for now, so we've got 6233. Ister to Alpha departure, climb to 5,000 feet. Okay, let's go ahead and read the checklist. Safety inspection checks. Services checks, checked. Maintenance status, checked. Battery, on. Electric hydraulic pumps, on. Landing gear lever, down. Ship's library, checked. And that's the safety inspection checklist complete. Refueling is complete, so let's start up the let's put on the seatbelt sign. Then, before start checks below the line. Before start check is to the line. So, IRS mode selectors, navigating, gear pins, 1, 2, 3 removed, light test checked, oxygen, I don't know what it is in the simulator, I always keep forgetting. Okay, oxygen test 100%, yaw damper on, nav transfer and display switches, normal and auto. Fuel, we've got 9,600 kilograms on board, 9,483 required and 6 pumps on. Cabin utility IFE on, emergency exit lights armed, fast modes on, window heat on, aircon and press, PAX auto, bleeds on, set, press mode selector, auto, instruments, cross-checked, auto brakes, RTO, hydraulics. So we are looking good here, we're looking good here, and we're looking good here. Hydraulics normal. Okay, speed brake. Down return, park brake, set, stop and cutout switches, normal, radius, radar, and transponder, set and standby, radar and aileron trims, 3 and 0, takeoff briefing, discussed, holding at the PA. So let's see, everyone is on board, very good, fuel truck can be released, then let's quickly say hello to the passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from FlightTech. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of Ryanair and Malta Air operating this flight for you, I would like to welcome you on board our flight Ryanair FR111 taking you towards Berlin. The flight time today is calculated at 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I would like to wish you a nice flight. Sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Finally, the cabin crew is shortly going to point out the safety features on board this Boeing 737-800 series aircraft. Please pay your full attention, as that is not just for your own safety, but also for the safety of the passengers sitting around. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, einen wunderschönen guten Tag aus dem Cockpit. Hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel im Namen der Ryanair und der Malta Air, die diesen Flug heute für Sie durchführt. Darf ich Sie herzlich an Bord unseres Fluges nach Berlin FR111 willkommen heißen. Flugzeit heute mit etwa 2 Stunden 40 berechnet. Wir erwarten einen ruhigen Flug in bis zu 38.000 Fuß Flughöhe. Und wir wünschen Ihnen jetzt einen schönen Aufenthalt bei uns an Bord. Die Kabinenbesatzung wird in Kürze die Sicherheitsdemonstration durchführen. Das dient ihrer eigenen Sicherheit und darum darf ich Sie um Ihre volle Aufmerksamkeit bitten. Finally, as notified to you during the check-in process, the country to which you're traveling might have specific COVID-19 requirements in force. Would like to ask you to pay your full attention and to obey any local restriction as required. Wie Sie im Boarding-Prozess erfahren haben, hat Deutschland möglicherweise einige Covid-19-Regeln implementiert. Wir müssen Sie bitten, sich zu jeder Zeit an diese zu halten. Vielen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Okay, that's the passengers done, and then we've got the APU available and on bus, so the ground guys can remove everything. On the timing, we need 2 minutes before we can turn on the bleed. For that, we are pretty much ready down here, so let's go ahead and do the performance. So 58.8 versus 58.9, that's good enough, and that's a gross weight of 68.4. Then let's quickly go ahead and calculate our takeoff performance, and I'm using virtual performance tool for that, set up for my 737. So we are going to depart from Lima Echo Papa Alpha, and that is going to be runway 24 right, intersection November 1. Condition is dry, the wind is calm, so I'm going to take 5 knots of tailwind, 25 degrees 1013. Okay, calculate. So the restricted takeoff weight 74,227. Then let's quickly do landing dispatch for Berlin. 25 left, 2.5 dry, 5 knots tailwind. I always do that. 241020 and the flap 40 landing. That's just dispatch requirement. Okay, perfect. I'm going to take the weight straight from the airplane since we don't have a detailed load instruction document available to us, unfortunately. So, takeoff 68,400. Calculate. Okay, that's a 24K takeoff at 42 degrees. 24K at 42, 91.2 against 91.6, close enough. And actually we can make this /25, as it seems to be quite a bit warmer, so 91.6, 91.6, perfect. Okay, flap 5, CG will take straight from the airplane, 6.4 units of trim. Always takes ages to do this. Here we go. Okay, takeoff speeds 144, 145, 149, and we've got 143, 144, 149. That's within 1 knot, so we can take the FMCs. Okay, perfect. That is our setup complete. I'm afraid 1027 as predicted and as selected. Okay, very cool. So that part is done. Let's go ahead and get GSX to get us a pushback.
2581, taxi to holding point runway 25 right via Golf, link and north.
So APU is there. That means we can remove everything. Very good. Shocks removed as well. And 2 minutes are over. So let's put on some air. And finally, when it is hot like this, we always select something lower on here. Okay. Cool. And we still got a door open. You may close that for sure. So, rest of the checklist please. PA complete, FMC CDU set, M1 and icebox, automatic. And we've got a reduced 24K takeoff, 43, 44, 49 set. Stab trim 6.4 set, performance weight and balance, sign send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode stowed, flight attendants and cockpit door, locked, doors closed, passengers seated. And that's the B4 start checklist complete down to the line. So GSX is about getting ready, let's call for ATC clearance. Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu, stand 64, request pushback and startup. Ryanair 500 Quebec Zulu, push and start approved, and we're only able to face north from the stand. Is that gonna work with you as well?
Yes, that's Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu, and the short pushback is facing south to gate.
Ryanair 500 Quebec Zulu, pushback approved. Okay, below the line. Air compacts off, anti-collision on, park and brake set, transponder out off before start checklist complete. Okay. Brake released, off block at 55.
119.4 for U rings 176.
And we can pre-select this already. 19.4. That's gonna be Palmer control then, the departure. How can you tell that I've definitely flown too often into Palmer? I can tell you all the frequencies until the top of climb. 123.88 delivery, 121.705 pushback, 121.905 once you pass a beam golf on a link, 118.305 the tower. Then we've got 119.4, 122.7 for the upper, and then 133.55 for the center. Okay, enough of that. We are being the red line, so let's start engine number 2. And 2. And by the way, if you're wondering, we would not normally hear any of the P8s from the cabin in the cockpit. So for that reason, I'm not playing any of those here either. Oil pressure, N1, 25%. On the fuel, got the valves moving.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
2581, wind count runway 2 for right, clear for takeoff.
Clear the takeoff runway 2 for right, all wings.
Okay, park and brake is set. You are clear to lower the aircraft, remove equipment, and advise when clear, please. Starter cutout, monitor 2, isolating a pack, and starting 1. And 2. If you're wondering, isolating a pack, basically closing the isolation valve, putting the pack into auto, so now the right pack is, the right bleed is feeding the right pack, which in turn is already getting air into the cabin. So oil pressure and 1. So like that we can already condition our cabin again before we are even going to complete the engine start. And if you're wondering why that's necessary, just have a look at the air conditioning over here. We are already getting a zone temp light for the cockpit. And if you look at that, it's really not that hot in the cockpit at the moment. You can see the air coming in is 26 now. We don't have an indicator for the cockpit, but I expect this to be, well, plus 30 degrees right now. So for that reason, in real life it doesn't happen that fast, so we wouldn't get the zone temp light that quick, and in fact I'm just about to reset it once we got the entire bleed on, but you kind of get the idea of what's going on there. So we've got starter cutout, monitor number 1, and number 1 is stable.
Palmer control
So,
and 119.
Here is the ramp agent, he is holding a pin and he is walking away. So now I'm going to give it a while to let the front zone cool down, then we are just going to press the trip reset, and that should basically be it for that. Not too much of a hassle there. That's basically what the QRH would instruct as well, and keep in mind you can do QRH checklists from memory if no hazard is created by it. And since we know what the source of the problem is, master caution, air conditioning, zone temp, that's associated. We're going to read the checklist first to give it a little bit of time to cool here, and then we'll go ahead and do the reset. So before taxi checklist, generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, pro beat on, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto bleeds on, isolation valve auto, flaps, 5 required, 5 selected, and we've got 5 green light. Step trim 6.4 required, 6.4 set. Start levers, idle detent, flight controls checked. Recall. Okay, let's do it now. So we got the zone temp. Trip reset. And you can see it's going out. Okay, so recall. It's checked. And like that, we are ready. Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu, request taxi.
Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu, your aircraft now to the north,
That's what I
taxi
told
to
you.
holding for runway 24 right, by Tango 2, Lima, Juliet, Link, and north.
Ryanair 51 Tango Zulu, taxi holding point 2 for right, Tango 2, Lima, Juliet, Slink, and north. Okay, so basically standard routing via Juliet. Lights are on. Clear on the left, clear on the right. Brakes off, config check.
Tower, good evening. Condor 5 Charlie November, inbound island, runway 24 left.
Condor 5 Charlie November, Palma Tower, very good evening, wind calm runway 24 left,
Runway 24 left, clear to land, Condor 5 Charlie November.
Ooh, even more Ryanair over there. Oh, that was just a little lag there in the simulator. Not sure why that happened. So, clear on the right, clear on the left. Now we basically go onto the left over here and then follow the standard taxi routing via Juliet. In real life, they would cut the instruction short and simply say taxi holding point 2 for right via Juliet. In Watson, they don't do that because nobody reads the airfield brief and therefore nobody knows about the taxiway system. Clear left, clear right. There's one guy ahead of us there, another Ryanair it seems. Okay, the next to the right over there is Juliet. That is where he wanted us to go. And we are clear on the right. On the left. Okay, before takeoff checklist down to the line. Config, checked, flaps. 5, 5, green light, step trim, 6.4 set, takeoff briefing. It's going to be a left seat takeoff, runway 2 for right, flaps 5, noise abatement 2.5, with a backup at 1500, and the sit straight at 7 miles, left turn 209 till 11 miles, and then 136 outbound from Andrach, which is active from the ADF. The sit, or the EO sit, straight at 25 miles, 3000, hold 239 left turns. Pax auto, bleeds on, anti-ice off, and the takeoff speed's 143, 144, 149, which is, I'm afraid, 1027. Squawk is in reviews.
Vale, ahora sí, Atlas 5-4 Romeo.
Nuestro 5-4 Romeo, Rafa.
Clear left and right.
Plan de vuelo es hacia espera, pase Menorca.
Just getting rid of that GSX window overlay over there.
Segundito lo llamo porque...
So that looks to me like we're number 2. Normally we would be ready for departure, so we would request November 1 intersection, but with another aircraft in front of us, it may or may not make sense.
Vale, necesito dar varias. En vez de carretera, seguro que si ponemos Puerto
Even
Colón,
though it kind of looks to me like he is actually standing over there, so he might just take it a bit slower until he's finished with the local there.
si quiere, yo ahora le modifico desde aquí el plan de vuelo, no importa que suba uno nuevo, ¿vale?
De acuerdo.
Ah, he's going. Okay.
Mira, pues poco
Then we can go behind him as well and take the full runway instead.
Un segundito, mantenga saco dos tráfico, le llamo.
Mantenemos, perfecto.
Ryanair 904 Lima, 941 Lima, wind can runway 24 right, net for the
Oh, it's Spain. There is no sense rushing ATC by telling him we're ready, because he's not going to do anything about it anyway. So, for that reason, we take it slow.
Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu, behind departing traffic, company Ryanair, line up on runway 24 right, behind.
On F5 Quebec Zulu behind the departing company 737, line up to the right behind. Okay, he's going. Then, confirm the readback. Yeah, behind the aircraft, line up to the right behind. Okay, seat the cabin crew below the line. Cabin crew, please take your seats for departure.
Controlas a Menorca, protocolo 2 alfa, salida de la 24 derecha, y se detiene con 1010 y
He is going, so I'll just take as much runway as I can. There is nobody on the other side there. Okay, before takeoff checks below the line. MCP, set, transponder, TARA, strobe lights on, holding at the landing lights. So the guy is going. Here we go. Okay, now it's just going to be a little wait with the other guy going up first. So let's see another time. MCP, everything is set. Modes are armed. Transponder. Config. Looking good. Fuel in center is more than a ton. Center pumps on, and all of that looks good. Cabin temperatures are okay. Let's turn it up a little. That's typically what you do in the aircraft. You turn them down quite a bit, and then later on you're gonna turn them up as the time goes ahead.
Leaving my space, continue approach and report when established, runway 24 left.
Continue approach, runway 24 left.
Ryanair 941 Lima, no more ATC, monitor Honeycomb, 122, decimal 8, fly, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Condor 5 Charlie November, welcome to Palma, taxi to...
That's what I meant. You're normally waiting quite long over here in Palma. In real life they're a bit more efficient, but it's still Spain.
Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu, wind guard runway 24 right,
With a right clear takeoff, Ryanair 51 Quebec Zulu. Okay, landing lights on, before takeoff checklist complete. Timing. Stabilized. Set takeoff thrust.
Yeah, 81 degree, hello, Palma Tower.
Takeoff thrust set, indications normal.
Final trailer that will be given. We just get 340 or
80 knots, checked. Gear up. Enough. I'll do a little bit of hand flying over here, just because it's fun. Up. 122 Decimal 8, Ryanair, 5 Quebec Zulu, bye bye. Okay, flaps 1, speed check, flap 1. And then we've got Honeycomb for the departure. Flaps up, speed check, flaps up. Roughly 12 degrees of pitch, usually keeps you nicely at the up speed. So here's what would happen in real life now as we're departing Palma. They cleared at flight level 120. In some cases also flight level 140, that depends a little bit on the controllers it seems. And basically when you're passing about 5,000, if you have a good rate of climb, they're gonna clear you direct to Papa Tango Charlie. So that's roughly what we'll do as well. For now, we've got flaps up and lights. So set standard. Select VNAV. Altitude restriction. And sometimes the PMDG still messes up there. Start time. So yeah, sometimes the PMDG messes up there when it encounters... I don't know what exactly the condition is. But anyway. So, after takeoff checklist. And we can release the cabin chute. So, air condition and pressurization is 2.8, climbing and that. Altimeters. And now passing 65, climbing 120 after takeoff checks. Speed an event, let's keep it climbing, and then we can go direct Papa Tango Charlie. Execute. Enough available, enough. We need to cross the coastline basically above flight level 90, and since that is assured now, let's go ahead and close the speed window once again. And start accelerating. Flight level 140, and that is normally where they hand you over to the next sector, which is 122.7. Okay, passing 100, climbing 140, 10 checks. And before we do the 10 checks, let's quickly start accelerating towards our climb speed. 5 degrees of pitch normally works quite well for that. And as you get faster, you might have to pitch down a little bit further, since with the increased speed you get more lift, the airplane starts climbing more rapidly, but you're going to see that now. Giving it a little bit of trim every now and then in order to keep the nose down as the lift comes up. You can see how with the constant pitch our rate of climb is really increasing there. and how even the flight director commands a little bit more damage. Here we go. And this is normally the point until which I would hand fly in real life as well. After the acceleration at level 100, in my opinion, from now you're basically going straight forward, so the autopilot can do that just as good as you can. Come on, Jay. Okay. The next sector then clears you flight level 260 on the departure over here. And with a bit of luck, if they are nice, they might give you direct Mike Hotel November. And of course we are going to be nice today, so let's go direct November. Execute, unavailable. Then we still got the 10 checks to do. So altimeters, passing level 130, climbing 260, 10 checks. Fuel is balanced with 6 pumps on, lights off, APU off, air conditioning pressurization 5.0, climbing. And set at this point, we can also set our standard setting here of AUT on the pressure panel. You can see how the cabin is basically nicely at 25-26 degrees now, which is typically good value. This normally indicates a little bit too much, so if you see 26 on here, it's probably 22 or something in the cabin, so that's quite alright. Okay, fast modes. I don't see any reason for turbulence, so fast modes auto, recall, checked, and 1 to 1.5. Monitoring. 10 checks are complete, CPDOC is not available at the moment, so that's basically it. From here on, we can relax, buy a couple of scratch cards, and enjoy our way towards Berlin. And we've reached our cruising level of flight level 360 initially. Ahead of us on the TCAS we can see the Ryanair 941 Lima that is going to model in. That's departed just in front of us. And from now on we can relax a little bit. However, as we're reaching our cruising level there is a little bit of stuff to do for us. So let's quickly go over that. First off, making sure that we're actually flying on proper flight level over here. So cruising level is definitely below the optimum. We would have checked that by the time we got our clearance to cruise level as well. Then on the fixed page we can enter our next FIR boundaries and we can get those straight from the flight plan. So for that, let's bring up Sim Toolkit Pro once more. And we can go out of the performance tool back into the flight plan. And over here we have now got France overhead Easter. However, we are about over that already, so we can disregard it. So next up is going to be Breno by the time we're passing Vienna. Or the other way around. Next up is going to be Vienna by the time we're passing Breno. So we can take Breno on top over here. Into the fixed page. Then we've got a second fixed page so we can check ahead. And overhead Govli probably is going to be the next one. Even though, no, over here at Tivda we're entering Czech airspace. Alright, so that's our next FAR boundaries in. Next up, let's have a quick look at the top of the climb. Should have taken 21 minutes, and indeed it took us 22 now, so it took us 21 minutes to get here. Fuel on board, we should have 7,600 roughly. We have 7,500 now, so we are pretty much spot on with the fuel. And we can do a quick check over at Lunar as well, and already look ahead. We should be there 27 minutes into the air, so we will have saved a little bit of time, which makes sense due to the shortcuts that we had. We should have 7.4, and looking into the predictions down here, Indeed, we have 7.4. So our fuel burn is spot on. Alright, so with that, our cruise checks are done. We are done with pretty much everything we need to do over here. Always a good idea, get that sunshade up. Otherwise, you are hardly going to see anything when you're trying to watch Netflix. Just kidding, of course. To get that sunshade up, and yeah, then it's time to really relax and enjoy the flight. So we have entered check airspace already, and we are just about 80 miles from the top of descent, so we can start preparing up. Now the first thing, however, that happens when you enter check airspace is that you're going to get a direct. So Eastern Europe, any of them, they're really good at directs, so we can go towards B737. I believe that is what they usually get you. Execute. And flying towards B737 now. So then in the FMC we don't even need to do that much stuff anymore. We can, however, quickly create a little shortcut there to anticipate that we might get something. So let's say if we go 461 direct to Xanen, that is probably going to give us the very shortest we can possibly expect. So something like this, and that gives us 461. Let it calculate, here we go. Okay. Erase that, put it in here, execute, and all of a sudden the top of descent is probably quite a bit closer. Yep, here we go, 37 miles. So time to do our setup real quick. And this is the reason why I like to do most of those FMC entries on the ground already, like inserting the descent winds and stuff like that, because it basically means that we only have to do the setup part now that we really have to do in the air, and the rest of it is basically done. Okay, so are you ready for the approach briefing? Threats for the arrival. We might be briefing in the descent as we are just shy of our top of descent over here, so if that happens, just have a good look at the instruments in between and make sure that we do not accidentally run into anything over there, and that should pretty much be it already. Apart from that, I do not really see any threats for our arrival into Berlin today. Okay, so let's go ahead with our FMC then. We have got 250 knots below low 100. The forecast page is in. Fixed rings runway 25 left, 10 and 4. For the arrival, we have the Glasdorf 25 left transition, and we can quickly get that out as well. Here we go, Glasdorf 25 left, coming from Glasdorf towards Delta Bravo 481. Oh, sorry, it's actually the Adgup 25 left, not Glasdorf, my mistake. So we're coming from Adgup towards 482 above flight level 80. Then we have 471, maximum 220 above flight level 60. and then 461 from where we've calculated the shortcut to our final approach fix. And then basically we go onto the downwind all the way until 467, which we have in here, then 457, which we have in here, and finally towards Xanim. Xanim above 3000 to join the ILS approach for runway 25 left, and that one is located on a chart 21-3 effective 24th of March. Frequency 109.3 is set active nav 1, nav 2, and we've got the final approach course of 245 selected on both sides. For the missed approach, we can go ahead and tune, let's see, BBI 14.1, and I'm going to put that into number 2. 14.1, and then we can put blast off 1515 into number 1. Okay, down to the minimum of 349. I believe I said something incorrect there. Yep, I did. I could have sworn I remembered something different, but then again, I haven't been to Berlin that often. So, 3, 4, and 9, like this. Okay. So in here, the approach starts at Xanim, 3,000 feet. We got a 3-degree glide slope leading us down to the minimum of 349. In case I missed approach, we climb straight at 0.6 dm from BBI. So we've got the alpha point over here, and that one's below 3,000 feet, which equals our chart. And then make a left-hand turn towards Kilo Lima Foxtrot on 341 radial inbound. We've got 162 over here, that's within 1 degree, fine for me, climb at 4,000, and we have that. So initially at 3,000, and after the turn towards 4,000, that's something to keep an eye on. Also the speed restriction of 190 knot in the first turn. So if we go around, it's going to be Togak, go around, flap 15, set go around thrust, raise landing with a positive rate. 400 feet, flap 5, keep it in 5 for the initial turn, and only then we can go flaps 1, flaps up, and basically bring the airplane out onto the radial. We'll probably be level in 3000 by that point, so we'll be out of Toga mode. That means we have to go level change and then buck up manually after that. So that's going to be a little bit of extra workload there that we have to manage in case the go-around happens. But that's pretty much it. For the landing, it's going to be flaps 30 auto brake 3, I suppose, but let's quickly check. And let's also see we are just shy of the top of descent, so I'm going to request descent. Unfortunately, no air traffic control online over here right now, so we'll start at 15,000. Okay, fuel 3.2 on arrival. We need 2.5 for a diversion towards Hannover. That means 700 kilos extra. That's a little bit less than 20 minutes. And that includes the entire transition already. 4 tons we have right now, 3.2 on arrival. If we take a little bit of a shortcut into account, since we're not going to fly the long way around, let's say we are going to burn 600 kilos. That's going to make a landing weight of 62.2. And using landing weight 62.2 and plus 30 probably. Let's have a quick look into virtual performance tool. Landing en route, Berlin 25 left, dry. Wind 280 at 6. Temperature is now 22 and 1019. Let's see what flap 30 landing gives us. Landing weight 62,200. 5 knots correction. Calculate that, please. So we end up at roughly 2,200 meters, and that is factored by 0.15. So if we take that off, we have roughly 1,800 meters. And if we check the charts over here, we got an exit right in the middle. And that's a 4,000 meter runway, so we're looking at roughly 2,000 meters, so that is good. To vacate at Mach 5. Then a right-hand turn on to Alpha, if I'm not mistaken, then Alpha Victor 2. And we're going to park somewhere on the northern apron up here. Any questions on the briefing? Probably not. Very good. So we are going to leave it at that. Since we're in the descent already, I'm not going to do another PA. And then I would say let's do the descent checklists. Pressurization, land alt 150. Anti-ice. Off. Approach briefing fuel, discussed, IS and alt bugs, checked and set. Descent checklist complete. altimeters. Passing flight level 101, descending flight level 80, 10 checks. Fuel is balanced and we have 4 pumps on. Lights on. Angle of bank 25. Air condition pressurization 3.7, descending. Set. Fasten belts on. Recall checked. 1 to 1.5. Deselected. Cabin crew 10 minutes to landing. And checks complete. And we're getting right back on the path. So the speed brake can go back in. We're descending via the star, and when we do that, we cannot select a lower level before we are 1 mile prior to waypoint 482. So we've got to wait until 1 mile, then we can select the lower altitude. With VNAV active. Without VNAV, we can only do it once we are beyond this waypoint over here. Tiny overspeed there, but that's acceptable in order to achieve smoother flight and not using the speed brake all the time. Okay, 1 mile to run. Let's go down to 4,000 feet, set altimeter 1019. This is the latest we have. Passing 8,000, descending 4,000, no flag, stand by altimeter set. Okay, now we're a little bit too fast, so let's indeed use some more speed brake. This right now is assuming that ATC has cleared us further down. Obviously, normally we'd have a flight level restriction on 471 over there as well, but we're just about taking it from here. Ultimately, VNAV is still going to abide the restriction, of course, but it is a company requirement to keep that speed under control like that. Or the altitude, much rather. Okay, interesting that the plane isn't decelerating right now like it should, so in that case let's do something about it. Level change. We're looking at 220 knots over here. Probably because we've been a little bit fast and we can see how the wind is constantly shifting over here. That's kind of confusing the autopilot system here. A real one would obviously be able to handle that. In the simulator, however, I found that autopilots usually have problems with stuff like this. Also, this is the point where normally ATC would take you onto vectors, so let's go heading 340. Unfortunately, I did hope that at the time of recording this there would be ATC online on Vatham. Unfortunately, there isn't, so for that reason we are doing the arrival offline. Okay, now that we are basically in full control of the airplane with heading and level change, let's go ahead and take SANAM active on the FMS, and that is basically going to give us an updated VNAV guide. But it's descended down to 3,000 feet, time to do a frisk check, and then we can read the approach checklist. Got frequencies 109.5 set 3 times. Rings around runway 25 left, 10 and 4 items. India Bravo Sierra Whiskey, India Bravo Sierra Whiskey. Standby instruments are set and the course is 245 and 245. Approach checklist. Altimeters and instruments, cross-checked, approach aids checked and set. Approach checklist complete. Okay, let's put the VSD on. Coming in a little bit high right now, so for that reason I'm taking the speed brake, and let's go flaps 1. Speed checked. Flap 1. And flap 5. Speed checked. 180 for now, but I want the drag of a flap 5. Got one to go. Start the final turn, heading 280. Okay, here comes the glide slope. And we have good indications. Warthog is armed. Warthog capture. Runway heading goes towards 245. Within 1 dot, approach armed. I'd have to select something a little bit lower. Yeah, let's make it 1200. Basically, airfield elevation rounded up plus 1000, which is the lowest we are allowed to select. And then it should capture the glide slope any moment. Our speed is down and nice, so we are running quite good on this. Capture criteria here is it needs to be within 0.17 degrees of the glide slope for 2 seconds, and then the glide slope mode is going to come on. So 0.17 degrees, basically half a dot for 2 seconds. So you can basically start counting now, and here we go, glide slope capture. With the glide slope captured, let's set the speed down to the 5 speed. Speed brake can go back in, and we can arm it straight away. Clear to land, tax light on, cabin is secure, so the no smoking switch can go on as well. We can get rid of the sunshades, which are not allowed to be up for takeoff and landing. And then, since we have glide slope capture, we can set our initial missed approach altitude of 3,000 feet. Good. Auto throttle off. Autopilot off. Let's enjoy a little bit of manual flight. And then we can go gear down, flap 15. Landing checklist. Start switches, continuous, recall, check, speed brake, armed green light, landing gear down 3 green, auto brake 3 set. I tell you, in real life it's easier to fly this manually. Okay, flaps 30, speed checked. Okay, flaps 30, 30, green light, landing lights on, landing checklist complete. We're looking for about 1 degree of pitch here. Thrust is roughly gross weight minus 4, gross weight minus 3, so 58% is good. Continue. Then let's make it a proper Ryanair landing.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, right under the marker. That is what they want to see. So we've got speed brake up, thrust reverse normal, idle reverse, 100 knots. $80 knots. Manual brakes, auto brake disarm, 60 knots. And here we go. So we're going to go first right onto Alpha, and when we're on Alpha we can clean the airplane up. Most important thing, get the entire plane beyond the line that we just crossed. Or in CAD 3 operation, or in LVP in general, beyond the second line that we just crossed. Okay, and here we go. Onto Alpha, let's quickly clean it up. Our gross weight is below 63 tons, that means we can do single engine taxi. I'll probably wait until we are on the main apron, and then we're going to shut an engine down. Basically, criteria for doing single engine taxi is gross weight 63 tons or less, and 3 minutes of cooldown. You can see I kind of started the timer by the time that we were on the ground with the reversers in reverse idle. We're clear on the left there. We can take the first entry onto the apron over here. So we're going to park in the north. That means let's speed it up a little bit more. There is absolutely nobody here, so for that reason I'm going to disregard the standard maximum speed on the apron of 15 knots, and I'm going to go a little bit faster. So, engines into idle, flaps are up for longer than 30 seconds, that means we can check the recall. The system and brakes are looking normal. Shut down engine number 2. Have source of 2, that's associated, drive 2, that's also associated. Our gate is going to be Alpha 6, so we can pre-select that already. Alpha 6, walk in, no bus, and we do not need to follow me. And the next line to the right, please. Which is going to be right here. Start the APU. The goal is to have the generator bus off light coming available by the moment where we stop on stamp and set the park and brake. Let's see how good or not that worked in this case. Always a little bit of a challenge on airports that you don't know, because on airports that you do know, you typically have your own little markers where you know exactly like, okay, if this point comes, I need to turn on the APU for everything to work out. But if you're on an airport that you're not so familiar with, that you're not flying into every other day, then that is a little bit challenging. Okay, our mashallah is over there. APU starting up nicely. And there's our APU. That's what I call timing. So, 2 blue, 1 red, engine's dead. Cabin crew does to manual and cross check. And as we're about to shut the airplane down and park it over here, we can do the full shutdown procedure. So engines 1 and 2 below 20%, anti-collision goes off, and then we can do the shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps 1 on, electrical on APU, fasten belts off, window heat off, probe heat auto, anti-ice off, electric hydraulic pumps off, voice recorder auto, air compacts off, engine bleeds on, APU bleed off, exterior lights steady, start switches off, auto brake off, speed brake down to 10, flaps upper light, parking brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar off, transponder 2000 standby, CBR circuit breaker in, and the cockpit door unlocked, and that is the shutdown checklist complete. So, thank you very much for flying, and welcome to Berlin Airport. And I was just about to start our deboarding when Throttle unfortunately crashed, so that's going to be it. Thank you very much for flying. I absolutely hope that you've enjoyed this one, and if you did, then do let me know in the comments below. Also, once again, I would like to point out that this is a video that was requested by Hendrik. And Hendrik, I do absolutely hope you liked this one. Do let me know what you think, and do let me know if there is anything you want me to do better on the next one. In the meantime though, thank you for watching, and I will quickly start getting our passengers off board. And while that happens, I would like to thank you very much for choosing Ryanair for today's flight. Hope that you have enjoyed it. If you did, then we really look forward to welcoming you on board the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all again, hopefully very, very soon. Oh, and interesting to see that they can deboard the airplane. Yep, they're definitely deboarding with the doors closed. Thanks for watching. See you all very soon.